The Four Seasons hotel chain hit the jackpot with the White Lotus. Hi everyone, it's Jeff and this is Plain English, episode number 815. Here at Plain English, we talk about current events and trending topics. And you lucky listener, get to upgrade your skills, all while having fun listening to our stories. The audio, as you can hear, goes a little slower than normal speed so you can hear every word. We also post the full official transcript online, and the transcript comes with built-in translations of keywords and phrases. This is episode 815, so you can find all that at plainenglish.com/815. But what are we talking about in today's story? It's a story of luxury hotels, big business, and a hit television series. Have you seen The White Lotus on HBO Max? If you have, you've surely wondered about the luxury resorts that form the backdrop of the show. And today's episode is all about the real-world hotels behind the hit show, The White Lotus. Quick reminder one more time, the full transcript and learning resources are at plainenglish.com/815. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. As a guest at a White Lotus resort, you want for nothing. A relaxing massage? Check. A gourmet meal? Sure thing. A cocktail by the beach? You got it. A serene view of the ocean? From every room. Mixers for cocktails in your suite? Coming right up. The only problem is the other guests. They can be egocentric, arrogant, manipulative, insecure, and sometimes a little violent. And those are just the guests in your own family. The White Lotus is, alas, not real. It's the name of a hit show on the streaming service HBO Max, and it's the name of a fictional resort hotel. On the show, wealthy guests and eccentric staff collide in a week-long drama that results in at least one dead body per season. But while the White Lotus brand is fictional, the hotels, the properties, are real. All 3 seasons to date have taken place at a Four Seasons resort, one each in Hawaii, Italy, and Thailand. And it all dates back to a risky bet the hotel chain took in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. The story starts in the year 2020, in the middle of the lockdown. Television production was paused for safety reasons. HBO was looking for a show that could be filmed, somehow, amid the disruption of COVID lockdowns. So they reached out to the producer Mike White to see if he had any ideas. He did. He had an idea for a dark comedy set entirely at a luxury hotel or resort. There was no cast, no final script, only a vague idea for the first episode. But they set to work finding a place to film that first season. That proved to be a challenge. They wanted to completely take over a resort for 13 weeks. But many hotel owners were wary of the idea. Luxury resorts have to think about their reputations. Many didn't want to risk being part of a show where bad things happened, even if the hotel name was changed. But the Four Seasons was different. The property on Maui, one of the islands of Hawaii, was empty anyway. They wouldn't lose any money by renting it out to a film crew. And the brand had been part of a high-profile show with seedy characters before. The Four Seasons in Mexico City was the site of Narcos Mexico, a fictionalized story of the drug trade. So they were comfortable with a little bit of risk, and they said yes. They turned over the Four Seasons Resort in Maui to the producers of the White Lotus without any real idea of the storyline. In the first season, there is violence, there are drugs, there is sex, there is crime, there is misconduct, gross misconduct by the staff, and there is death, all at the fictional White Lotus, the real Four Seasons Maui. And it could not have worked out better for the Four Seasons in real life. The White Lotus, the show, became a global hit for HBO. The gorgeous, serene backdrop of the resort provided the perfect contrast to the dysfunction and hijinks of the guests and staff. Viewers drooled over the magnificent views and fantasized about an exclusive vacation where all their needs are met 24/7. Far from thinking bad things about the Four Seasons, viewers wanted to know more about the real-life version of the hotel. They wanted the White Lotus experience for themselves, minus the dead bodies. Season 2 was set in the Four Seasons in Sicily, and Season 3 at a resort in Thailand. Four Seasons has not said how much revenue or occupancy has increased at the properties featured on the show, but they have said that web traffic and phone inquiries have increased substantially. News reports show that social media mentions of Thailand travel are up 60% since the third season of The White Lotus came out. But that may be just the beginning. For the first few years of the partnership, the Four Seasons was not allowed to use the show in its own marketing. The filming locations were well known. It wasn't a secret, but still, the real hotel chain was not allowed to use the White Lotus name to promote their properties. Now, though, that restriction has been lifted, and the Four Seasons is taking full advantage of its association with the hit TV show. The beachside bar at the Thailand resort has been renamed the White Lotus Bar, complete with cocktails inspired by the show and signage left over from filming. A Four Seasons in California hosted a wellness event inspired by the meditation culture in Thailand. And if you're really willing to shell out, the Four Seasons has the ultimate vacation for you this coming May. It's a 20-day vacation package with 8 destinations, including all 3 resorts that were featured on the White Lotus show. You travel from place to place on a private plane and get curated experiences at each destination. The price is $188,000 per person. Season 4 of The White Lotus will take place in France. The exact location is not known. Speculation is centering around a Four Seasons resort on the French Riviera. There's a Four Seasons in Paris if the producers wanted a city-based option, and there's one in the Alps if they want a cold weather plotline. Fun fact, the bar scene in Bangkok in Season 3 was not at a Four Seasons. It was at the Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok. So if you want a White Lotus experience, but you can't afford to stay overnight at the Four Seasons, you can have a drink at the Bamboo Bar at the Mandarin Oriental. A glass of wine costs about $20. I'll admit it, I don't have any problem admitting I looked up the room rates of the Thailand resort. Cheapest room, about $2,000 per night. That does not include meals. But look on the bright side, I was pleasantly surprised at the cost of meals. It was usually about $60 for a meal, $20 for a cocktail. Not bad. That's an expensive meal. But come on, it's the Four Seasons. So if you can swing the room rate, the food isn't too much on top of that. You could get a 3-night stay for, let's say, under $10,000 for 2 people. We can dream, right? Anyway, when you're done daydreaming, you can find the full text of today's episode at plainenglish.com/815. That's because this is episode 815, and that's also because JR, the producer, uploads all the episodes to the website the weekend before they come out. So plainenglish.com/815 is where you will find the transcript, translations, quiz, fast version of this audio, exercises, and more. plainenglish.com/815. We'll be back next week with 2 new episodes. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.